are here in Biwabik, and we finished a really successful alpine ski championship today, and just great conditions. So pleased with Benji Neff and his staff at Giants Ridge for all they did to support that event and all they're doing to support our Nordic event here on Wednesday and Thursday. Just want to congratulate everybody first and foremost for qualifying for the state Nordic championships in what has been the most unusual year. But here we are, the last 2 days of the season, and you all have an opportunity to be with your student athletes that are participating. And what a great experience for all involved. Excuse me. We are recording this meeting, so to those that are not able to watch live but are going to listen in at a later time, we welcome you as well. And at this point, I think we're just going to go right into our just some of the course information and adjustments and things. We're going to turn it over to John Philander, our course or our state meet technical delegate. So John, I'm going to allow you to kind of step in and get focused in on the camera and the mic and take it away.
Okay, thank you, Charlie. Well, we're really happy to have the conditions that we've got today and tomorrow for the next 2 days. We aren't going to be getting above freezing at all. And the course conditions have set up. We're going to be grooming tonight sometime after 8 o'clock. And it'll be, the course will be groomed. Tonight, you're going to be looking at, or tomorrow morning, first thing, you're going to be looking at classic double track, the entirety of the 2.5K. And it'll be different, of course, when we're doing the sprint, the team sprint on Thursday. But the one thing that I did want to talk about were, and maybe we'll wait until we talk about course etiquette, but the course will be open at 7:30 in the morning, the way I understood, and that'll be for warm up and course inspection. We have the course will be open at that time. Classical technique only to start with, because if you're going to be skating, there's not going to be an opportunity on the course to skate at that time. If you wanted to skate, you need to use our other warm-up area, which is out onto the practice range, and it's classical skiing only for a course preview in the morning. The thing about the actual race course is there's a real significant climb coming at about 1.4K in the course. And I know that a lot of the athletes are aware of that. You're going to be gaining about 23 meters of climb, and they're going to be doing that twice in the morning in classic and twice in the afternoon in skate technique. We are allowing spectators to be out on the first part of the pitch, basically where we're going to be having our technique zone, and it'll be cordoned off with fencing. And we are asking all spectators, we're asking all coaches to not have skis on during the race. So this is the full course is very comfortable for foot traffic for the coaches, plenty of places to see where your athletes are at, and there's not a need for your coaches to have their skis on during the race. Prior to the race, and if you want to test waxes, we have a wax test area to the north of the whole stadium, and we'll have classical tracks set there. Coaches can have their skis on at that point. As you know, that the state meet is governed by very close in close affiliation with the FIS, but for all of the sanctions that would normally occur with a disqualification or whatever, in the state high school league, we have time penalties. And those, anytime that we're going to have a situation where we have to make a decision, the jury will be making that decision. The jury is made up of myself, the chief of competition, and Charlie, I believe it's Charlie.
Mhm.
Yeah, so those are the three of us that are going to be making any jury decisions. And that would have to do with some of the things that Gary Larson will be talking about, such as technique violations and turning violations. So other than that, I think we're really going to be good to go for tomorrow morning. And then it'll be a similar arrangement for Thursday. Since this is our only coaches meeting, we will be opening up the sprint course at 7:30 in the morning on Thursday as well for course preview. So that's pretty much all I have.
Okay, next, Gary Larson, who is our chief of control, will cover technique zones, turning zones, and any control issues.
Okay, welcome everybody. The conditions are great here, which is wonderful to see. John had mentioned the technique zone, which will be on the first pitch of the cat track, approximately 50 meters long, and within the technique zone will be marked at the start and at the finish of it that basically double polling is not allowed. So it's a diagonal technique, and the diagonal technique is, kicking, and also herringbone if you don't have the wax. Now you will be going through that zone twice, and so each time you go through the zone, it's the same requirements. The turning zones, there's 2 on the course, and also the transitions at the start where you transition with the lap track. And also when the lap track enters the stadium where it splits for the finish, start in the lap track and then the finish in the lap track, those will be marked also as turning zones, since we've always used them as called scramble zones, but they will be marked as turning zones. So turning zones, it's really, there's no mystery to turning zones. If you have to get around the corner, what a turning technique includes is a push from the outside ski and a step from the inside ski. So the only thing that's not allowed is you can't double skate. You can't skate with both skis, and you can't ride on the inside ski and just push with the outer ski. That would be considered a single skate. So those are the things we'll be looking for. And otherwise, pretty simple, and have a great race.
Okay, the one.
John, let me interrupt a little bit. There's a question in the chat. Will the technique zone be in use for the sprint relay as well?
Yes, it'll be the same one, same location. The only difference then is we'll have 4 sets of classic tracks going up that hill, whereas tomorrow we'll have 2 sets of tracks going up that hill. So it's in the exact same location going up that cat track. It's a significant climb. The one thing that I did want to talk, and I failed to talk about, were in regards to etiquette, course etiquette. And it has to do with not so much the athletes, but it has to do with spectators and coaches. And you wouldn't think you'd ever have to do something like this, but what we've put in place is we do have such a thing as a yellow card, and the yellow card will come into play when some member of our race organization or jury sees things happening within the field of play that coaches or spectators are doing that would really alter a course of the sense of fair play. And this yellow card is going to be recorded, and it will be upheld through the Minnesota State High School League. It's not going to be coming down from the race organizer this week as much as it will from the future with the State High School League. So I don't know if there's if that could probably cause a couple of questions in the chat as well. What would spur on a yellow card? Well, one would be a coach not adhering to the no skis on course. Another one would be respect for signage. Another one would be any of the unsportsmanlike behavior that we could have a sanction with. So it has more to do with keeping the quality of the competition at a certain level, but we expect that from the athletes, but we also expect that from the coaches and the parents too. So that's where we're bringing this to.
Okay, I'll cover tomorrow. First of all, bib pickup will start at 8 o'clock down in the basement of the lodge in the Gold Room. And that's also where we'll pick up our pursuit bibs in the afternoon. There will be no chips in the morning. So for the classic interval race, we are not using chips. We will be using chips in the afternoon, 1 chip per athlete, and those will be put on. We'll call probably 20 minutes beforehand. So we get everybody in. You come in, get your chip in. There'll be cow tags in the lane that you're in. You find your race number, lay your skis down, and then you can continue with your warm-up. We'll call you over when we've got about 3 minutes before we're going to start. Get everybody buckled in and away we go. There will be no lap times tomorrow. So we're not taking splits or anything like that. We will be doing splits for all the laps in the team sprint on Thursday. And on Thursday, it will be 1 chip per skier. So each skier will have a chip on. And we're starting an hour later on Thursday. Also, we have capes. The Minnesota State High School League has capes that we will be using with all the athletes when they are waiting in between when their teammate is out on the course. So the only thing you need to come with is your warm-ups. You'll be given a bag, a brown paper bag with your team number on that you put your sweats in. And then you'll have capes from us. And when you go to the finish line, you take your 2 bags that have your team numbers with you for you and your teammate with their warm-ups and so on. Mike Hecker, who co-manages with me with the state meet, will now cover some things with the team sprint for Thursday.
Okay, the team sprint for Thursday. What we're going to be doing is running heats of 8. There was a random sort of each of the teams respectively from all 8 sections and 3 teams per section. The qualification through is we're going to run 3 heats of boys, 3 heats of girls. The winner of each heat will advance to the finals, as will the next 5 fastest within those 3 heats. At check-in procedure, your team needs to be prepared to come in together. They will be chipped together, and the skier that is running your anchor leg, which would be your skier number 2 and 4, they need to have on the right side of their ankle, there will be a number that needs to be applied to their ankle, because we're going to be using camera timing, and the camera is focusing in on that number to give us an accurate reading of the athlete. They will be, and for the finals, there will be new bibs. So you're going to be working with 1 through 24 for the first part of the race, the heats. For the finals, you'll need to come and get a set of bibs for the finals, and they will be a different numbering system for that. Once they get into and get them there early, please. There is a set of directions that we need to provide your athletes once they've checked into the stadium. That's very, very important for them and for us. Coaches, FYI, we have got a lot of stewards that will be in the field of play, our stadium area, that will be looking after your athletes. Not to worry, there will be a steward or an official, 1 per each team. We need you to be on the outside if you want to be in the exchange zone, if you want to go up the climb. As John said, this is a pretty challenging course. It's 1.3 kilometers. They're going to be doing two 23-meter climbs, and it's one of the more challenging courses we've had, your athletes will have. That would be a good place for you to be if you want to observe your athletes. But coming into the field of play, when we're trying to give directions, where we're trying to move athletes that are running laps 2 and 4 into their place, giving directions to laps 1 and 3, we have a challenge with working with 16 athletes, let alone having 8 coaches running around trying to work with them. So we request that when they check in, you go a different direction, please. Wax readjustments, because this is a classic race. You can only...
Mike,
yes.
let me, we've got just a couple of questions in the chat. First of all, there's 2 questions related to the technique zone. One, will it be set up during warm-ups and course preview so it's identifiable? And then is there a map that shows where the technique zone is? I don't believe we have a map that's produced, but I would like our management team to respond to that. And then I've got a couple more that came in as well.
Yeah, the actual climb or the actual technique zone is the significant climb going up what we call the North Face Cat Track. So you go out on the course for about 1.3 kilometers or so. You come back towards the start finish area, and it's at that point where you start the climb. The technique zone is right about at the start of that climb, and that's the significant pitch there. I know we have at least a 50-meter area, and it will be marked before 7:30 in the morning for the preview. They'll be marked at the bottom of it, where is the start, and at the top, which is the end. So, and that'll be the same for both the classic interval start tomorrow, as well as the sprint, the team sprint on Thursday.
And John, how are the turning zones marked?
The turning zones are marked, for one, there's no tracks in that area. So there'll be no classical tracks in that turn. And then they're marked with a red and a green at the start.
Turning zones are marked just with red.
Oh, just with red. Okay, I take that back. Yep. So the turning zones are marked in red with brushes at the start and brushes at the end. And those are marked in red. We have two spots on the course with turning zones, and then we have a couple of what we call our scrub areas, where we're going from two tracks to one track, dropping tracks coming into the stadium. A couple areas there, those are also going to be our turning zones too.
Great. And then just 2 more questions, and then we'll continue through the agenda. Are the capes for the pursuit or just the relay? I believe it's just for the team sprint, but I'd like to defer to race management. I can see Mike nodding his head that
That'll be just on Thursday.
It'll just be on Thursday for the team sprint. Yes.
And then I believe I know the answer to this question as well. But in restricting the kind of the spectators and coaches in terms of wearing skis on the course, are coaches allowed on skis on course during warm-ups? I believe the answer to that is yes. But again, I wanted to defer to our race management team.
Right. Absolutely. They can have their skis on during warm-ups during that time from 7:30 till I believe it's 9:30.
9:55.
9:55. Oh, okay. So you've got 2.5 hours to get around a 2.5K course. So it should be plenty of time. And again, I said that we do have a wax testing area to the north of the team camp area, and the coaches can be testing wax up and down that, and that's out of the field of play, and they can be testing wax at that time. As far as spectators are concerned, there'll be a couple places where there will be crossings One near where the playground, in between the playground and the Giants Ridge Chalet is, there's going to be a crossing there we'll have stewards on both sides. So that's a crossing area there. And then to the north of the whole stadium, we'll have stewards where people can get and walk around the backside of our timing building and or getting out onto the course where the Northern Lights Trail intersects the downcoming goal. So there's a couple places where spectators are going to be directed to crossing areas.
Great, thank you. Those are the questions that we've had at this point, so we can continue on the agenda. Thank you.
Okay, I'll just finish up real quickly with the team sprint, because I know this will be a question asked, is wax readjustments. And the only time you can readjust those grip zone or grip wax areas would be between the heat race and the final race. It is not allowed to do any adjustment whatsoever during the competition itself. So once the athlete has come into the field of play, that's where the skis will be. Once they leave the field of play, you can do a readjustment for the final piece. And lastly, because I'm going to tag on to Gary or to what John said about the technique zone. I was a technique controller at a section meet last week. I had a coach ask me, you are going to tell them when the technique zone starts as a controller. And I said, absolutely not. You have to have your eyes open. It'll be well marked, but it's not up to the controller official there to tell them the technique zone starts and the technique zone ends. That's up to the athlete to make that correct decision to understand when they got to start and when they got to stop.
Mike, are coaches allowed to coach the resting team sprint skier from outside the fence area?
Yeah, they can yell into him. Absolutely. Yep. They can. And that's all I've got.
So I guess just in recap for tomorrow morning, 8 o'clock, bib pickup down in the gold room, in the basement of the chalet. First race is at 10 o'clock, boys classic, 11 o'clock, girls classic. Preview starts at 7:30. You have to be off the course, skis off by 9:55. Any other questions?
I think there's some questions. I didn't do that.
Question on who is in what heat for the sprint relays.
That should all be posted online. I'll double check with Superior Timing as soon as we leave here and make sure it is. But it should be listed. I know I have the link that has heat 1, heat 2, heat 3 of the boys and girls.
Thank you.
If it's not up, I will make sure it gets up tonight.
It's also in the program, which is if you find the Nordic Ski Tournament, it's printed in the program as well.
It is on Superior Timing. I just looked it up, Charlie, and it's listed by team sprint qualification, heat 1, 2, 3, boys and girls. So
Great.
it's live. They just need to go to Superior Timing or the Minnesota State High School League.
And we do have maps of the course. We did update the state tournament program with the adjusted maps for the adjusted courses that we're using this year for both the pursuit race and the team sprint. In addition, I believe there are independent maps in your dashboard as well that have been posted. So if you're wanting to take a more critical look, those are two places you can find maps and direct folks. Question, will Classic be groomed to the side for skate race later or brushed out for skate? I believe we're brushing that out, but again, I'd like to defer to the management team.
Yeah, we will be grooming in between the classic race and the pursuit race. And we haven't set a time if that was going to be open for a course preview.
First race is 2 o'clock. 11 o'clock.
11 to 1. maybe 1 o'clock.
1 o'clock course preview, 1:55, they've got to be off for tomorrow,
For the skate race.
for the skate race in the afternoon.
Yep. So that way, that gives plenty of time for the athletes to warm up prior to the classic race and also to make a lap around the skate race before they start the pursuit.
And just to be clear, another question came in. Can we touch up both the glide and the kick waxes between relay heats?
Between the heats and the finals, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not
Not once the race has started.
Only
Yep.
kick.
Only grip.
Yeah.
So Mike, clarify that again, please.
Only grip wax, kick wax,
So
not
you cannot touch up the glide wax.
nope.
Thank you.
Mhm. Yep, between these.
Mhm.
Yep.
Okay. I don't have anything else.
Nope, I'm good.
All right, and question, why not re-glide wax? Why can't you reapply or redo your glide wax?
Well, that follows the FIS guidelines and sprints. So, and we try to stay along with the FIS whenever we can.
Brett asked a great question, live streamed. Yes, we have a crew from Rock Ridge, the high school here, consolidated school district between Virginia and Evelyn Gilbert. And they did a wonderful job today with Alpine. They have a nice crew that will be on site for the next couple of days, providing that live stream. If you go to the league website and go to state tournaments and select either boys or girls Alpine, they are kind of populated similarly, or maybe better stated, identically. But you will find all the information, the program, streaming information. I see Amy posted a link here. You'll find information on apparel, also for sale. From 8 to 4 upstairs in the lodge, and maybe as early as 7:30 tomorrow. And then one more time, clarify what can be done to skis between the team sprint heats and the finals.
Well, between the the qualifiers and the finals, the coaches can touch up the kick wax, but the glide wax they cannot.
Sounds like that would be good information in the future to include in our participants guide. Appreciate
Yeah.
those questions, though.
Yep, absolutely. All right,
Great.
Question.
there's one more question.
There was one more question, Charlie.
Can outside ski shops be set up to wax skis?
I don't have a problem with shops. If there's a shop out there, they're basically helping everyone the same. You know, they have to follow the rules just like the coaches do. But if Gear West or if Ski Hut or whoever has a tent up and they want to be working on different skis, that would be okay with us.
But am I correct? They can't contract with a certain team. It's got to be available to everybody.
Yeah, they have to be open for everyone.
Agreed.
Okay.
Great. A reminder, this will be posted in coach dashboards and reviewable by all. And just want to thank everybody again for tuning in and asking the questions, and want to wish everybody well over the next couple of days with your tournament participants.
Oh, there was a question at the bottom, tracking in the classic race. Yes, the first race is an interval start race, so the tracking rule is in effect for the classic race. It is not, it doesn't work for the pursuit, and it also does not work for the sprint. But for the classic interval start, the classic tracking rule does work.
That's it, we're done. I think, or are we?
All right, with that, we'll end this meeting and we'll see everybody as we pick up packets beginning at 8 a.m. tomorrow. Again, that remind information is in the chat. It's also in the participating schools guide. So sign up for those notifications. We'll send out reminders about bid pickup, and we can post preliminary results, protest periods, those sorts of things that will assist with race management. Best wishes, everybody. Thanks so much.